Hey everyone, so I'm finishing up part two of this series that I have been working on today in response to Thunderfoot's The Bible for Beginners series. And I was talking about moral relativism just a few seconds ago, and I think I've pretty much covered that, but there is one other point I wanted to make in regards to Revelation 2 and Deuteronomy 32, is that you can view morality as relative, which is obviously absurd, but um, how you view the Bible and how you view God's character also comes into play in both these verses. A lot of people see God as only a God of forgiveness and grace and compassion, and those are all very true attributes of God, but they aren't his only attributes. And when you're focusing on just those ones, when you see things in the Old Testament where God gives people, the just penalty for what they've done, for how they've sinned and how he's going to punish them. It's hard for people to grasp when that's their initial mindset coming into the character of God. But if you do a complete study on God's character in the Bible, you see that while he is all those things, while he is forgiving and compassionate and full of grace, he's also a God of justice and a God of discipline. And I mean that's necessary a lot of times for those of you that have kids. I mean, you don't just let them run rampant doing whatever they want. Sometimes you have to discipline them, and God's discipline for his the just penalty for what we do against him is death. And the way that I look at it is this: is that is the case because of what we have done, and because of, I mean, we all do horrible things. We can all admit that if we're being honest with ourselves. We do things that are wrong. We do things that we shouldn't do, and we know we do them wrong. But if we have that mindset and just accept that as a reality, we see it begins to build up in us a better appreciation of God's grace, because we see exactly what he's saving us from. I mean, when we look at those things in the Old Testament, we can say, wow, I mean, why isn't this happened to me? I've done some of these things. I've lied, I've stolen, I've done things I shouldn't have. Why am I being saved? And it gives you a better appreciation of the grace of God, and the grace through Jesus Christ dying on the cross, that we have that forgiveness from the justice we deserve. And Romans is a really good study on that. I might go through that to give you guys a better picture, but yeah, that really is just something that's just the reality of God's character, and something we need to understand when we look at verses like this. And the next thing that I'm going to bring up is the last part of Thunderfoot's video here on apparently, according to him, Jesus is a thief. So I think we need to address that. It's actually right after the verse that Thunderfoot totally botched about applying something to Jesus that somebody else was saying. But let me just read this. It's called the Triumphal Entry. And when he had said these things, he went on ahead, going up to Jerusalem. When he drew near to Bethphage and Bethany at the mount that is called Olivet, he sent two of the disciples, saying, "Go into the village in front of you, where on entering you will find a colt tied, on which no one has ever sat yet. Untie it and bring it here. If anyone asks you, 'Why are you untying it?' you shall say this, 'The Lord has need of it.'" So yeah, Thunderfoot was just saying, Jesus is pretty much telling his disciples to go steal a horse and bring it to him. But it's obvious that that's not the case. If you just, again, read the whole thing, it just says that they brought the colt to him, which implies one very important thing, that they went to get the colt and they were asked, why are you untying it? And they said, "The Lord has need of it." And so they took it. And that means that the person that had the colt didn't argue with them, let them take it, because you're not just, some stranger comes up and says, "Hey, I need this, God needs it," and they don't want, they don't believe in God or something like that. They're not going to let you take it. Jesus knew the mindset of the people that owned the colt, and because of that, he knew they were going to let him take it. Because it, I mean, why would he say the Lord needs it if they didn't believe in God? And so, being omniscient, he knew that. And another thing that Thunderfoot brought up about the omniscience of God is, you know, a couple of things. First of all, why does God need a horse? That's one thing that he said in it in his response to this, and again, it's a lack of doing a complete study on an issue in Scripture. He doesn't want to put any time and effort into it. But why does he need the horse? He doesn't need one for himself, but a lot of what Jesus did was fulfilling prophecy in the Old Testament, and in this case, he's fulfilling Zechariah 9:9, which says it's the coming of Zion's king, and it says, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion, shout, daughter of Jerusalem. See, your king comes to you, righteous and having salvation, gentle and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey." Foal. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's why he needed one. But yeah, you just you need to put some more work into these videos if you're trying to make Christians look stupid for believing in this, but don't even put effort into trying to understand what's being said. So that's the answer to that last question there. And I'm going to be making some more on this. I think I've pretty much covered everything. He did have something to say on heaven, and it was pretty absurd. He made the assumption that everyone in heaven is going to be sitting in chairs, even though that wasn't said in the verse he was saying. There's a really good book called Heaven by Randy Alcorn, and I've been reading it in light of watching his video. If you want to learn about heaven more than what Thunderfoot says here, this would be a good book to read. Probably just Christians would be interested in reading it. But yeah, Heaven by Randy Alcorn is a very good book. And that's my response to that. I'm going to be making responses to Edward Current's videos coming up soon, and just destroying his videos because they're grounded in the same understanding of taking verses out of context and doing whatever you want with them. So I'm going to have to respond to that too, but thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. Bye.